Look at this letter. In the previous lecture, we have discussed what is meant by profits and gains. In the previous lecture, we have discussed what is meant by profits and gains. Now, in the current lecture, we'll discuss what is business. Okay, so not the word business as used in the normal parlance, common parlance is different, and the word business as used in the Income Tax Act is completely different. Okay, so we have many case laws to know what is the word business. Before that, first understand what are the four aspects. Sorry, what are the various aspects covered here? What are the various aspects covered within the definition of a business? Profits and gains of any business or profession. Okay, profits and gains of any business or profession. Okay, so we have completed what is meant by profits and gains. In the previous lecture, we have completed what is meant by profits and gains. Now, business. Okay, if you look at the definition of section 2 class 13, if we look at the definition of section 2 class 13, what are the aspects covered here? Section 2 class 13 covers business. Section 2 class 13 covers first aspect is trade, commerce, manufacture, adventure in the nature of or any adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce or manufacture. Okay, adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce or manufacture. Adventure or concern, trade, commerce, manufacture, adventure or concern in the nature of a trade, commerce, manufacture. Okay, these are the four aspects covered in the definition of a business. But the important point we need to understand is that as per section 2 clause 13, business includes. Section 2 clause 13 says business includes. Because of this word includes, you can only say these are the popular types of business, not the exhaustive list. Popular types of business, not an exhaustive list. It is only inclusive list. I can only say these are some examples of business. Not the complete business. Business is completely different. The word business has a wider meaning than the word trade, commerce or manufacture. Okay, trade, commerce or manufacture is only popular types of business, is not equal to business. Business is much more than trade. Business is much more than commerce. Business is much more than manufacture. The word business has wider meaning than trade, commerce or manufacture. Okay, the word business has wider meaning than trade, commerce or manufacture. Look at this case law. Okay, the word business is a wider term than and not synonymous with trade, and means practically anything which is an occupation as distinguished from sport or pleasure. Any occupation any occupation is a business. Any occupation is a business. Is not synonymous with trade. That means business you should not be equated with the trade. Business is the term which is wider than the trade. Okay, business trade synonyms kadu. Both are equal kadu. Business is wider. Trade is narrow. Business is wider. Trade is narrow. I can say trade is one type of business. Trade is one type of business. There are many types of businesses. Trade is one type of business. Okay. So any occupation, I am doing some work. Occupation means doing some work. Basically, occupation means doing some work. Why I will do any work? Very simple. What is the object of doing any work? Okay, there are three objects of doing any work. So occupation means doing some work. Why I am doing some work is important. Occupation means doing some work. Why I am doing some work? Three reasons. Purpose. Why I am doing some work? Basically three concepts. Occupation means basically three aspects. First means as a sport, pleasure, business. That's it. Occupation means sport, pleasure, business. Sport, pleasure and business. Why it is sport? It's a kind of entertainment. I am doing some work because it's an entertainment for work. It's an entertainment. I don't want to, I just, as a time pass activity, it's just a time pass activity. Sport means I don't have any profit motive intention. It's just a time pass activity. Okay, sport. But pleasure, personal satisfaction, doing some charity, etc. Personal satisfaction. personal satisfaction, doing some charity, etc. Okay, or business, profit motive, profit motive, as simple as that. Okay, if I do any work, these are the three aspects: so sports, pleasure, and business. Sport is as a kind of entertainment or a time pass activity and next this one is charitable activity. Pleasure means personal satisfaction. I am doing something to the society. So therefore, the sport or entertainment is a time pass activity. It's a time pass activity. Sports, pleasure, or business. It's a time pass activity. So one of the occupation is a business. Therefore, any work if you are doing other than for the purpose of sport or pleasure, it comes as a business. So within the business you can have many other things. One is trade, another one is commerce, another one is manufacture, another one is another one is adventure or concern, other businesses. Because the word business as used in the definition is an inclusive definition. Therefore, apart from these four other business also covered. Any business, any occupation other than sport or pleasure with profit motive, if you done, it is covered as a business. Okay, any occupation, if you are engaged means you are doing some work, you are paying some attention to the work, you are applying your physical labor. Okay, you are applying your body and you are applying your mind. Fine, it's an entertainment, pleasure. Other than that is a business. Okay, I am applying my body, I am applying my mind. Therefore, it is a business. Okay, it may be trade, commerce, manufacture. This is adventure or concern. Other business. Because these four are the popular types of business, they have given an example. Popular types of business given as an example in the definition. Since the definition is an inclusive definition, other business also, court or income tax department has a right to include other activities also in this business, in the head business. Okay, to include any other thing also in that business. Court and the income tax department has the power to include something else within the definition, because the definition is an inclusive definition. You understand, ma? Court or income tax department has the power to include something else also within this definition, because the definition is a inclusive definition. Trade, commerce, manufacture, adventure or concern in the nature of trade. I'll give you two different ways to remember this. One way is you can remember like this: TMC, Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee. Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee, West Bengal, Trinamool Congress. TMC, Trade, Manufacture, Commerce. Okay, trade, manufacture, commerce. That is one way of remembering. But the logical way of remembering is MTC. MTC in the sense manufacture, trade, commerce. So manufacture refers to production of goods. Manufacture refers to production and sale of goods. Okay, so production of goods and sale of goods. Okay, trader means purchase of goods and sale of goods. And commerce means purchase of goods and sale on a large scale, on small scale. Trade is small scale, purchase is large scale, commerce is large scale. That is the important point. Okay, the difference between trade and commerce is both ways we are doing purchase of goods, sale of goods and distribution of goods, etc. But here in case of commerce on a wider scale, the commerce is a wider scale. When you do an activity on a less scale, it is called as a trade. When you do an activity on a large scale, it is called as a commerce. Okay, therefore manufacture, trade, commerce. First I'll produce the goods, then I'll sell the goods on a small scale. When my business expands, I'll sell the goods on a large scale. This is also one way of remembering. Manufacture, trade, low scale of sale, and commerce, large scale of sale. Okay, this is one way to remember. One way to remember is shortcut: TMC, Trinamool Congress, or Mamata Banerjee. You can trade, manufacture, or commerce. Or MTC, manufacture. First I'll manufacture the goods, then I'll trade the goods on a small scale, then I'll trade the goods on a large scale. First I'll manufacture the goods, then I'll trade the goods on a small scale, then I'll sell the goods on a large scale. That is called as a commerce. Manufacture, trade, or commerce. Okay, so manufacture, trade, or commerce. This everyone will know. Trade, I told you, purchase of goods and sale of goods on a small scale. What is the trade? Purchase of goods and sale of goods. Purchase of goods and sale of goods on a small scale. Purchase of goods and sale of goods on a small scale. Trade means purchase of goods and sale of goods on a small scale. Commerce. What is meant by commerce? Commerce means purchase of goods and sale of goods on a large scale. But first, if I am purchasing the goods, means somebody has produced the goods. Yes or no? If I am purchasing the goods, means somebody has produced the goods. Therefore, production of goods and sale of goods. Production of goods and sale of goods. I am manufacturing the goods. I am producing the goods and selling the goods. I am producing the goods and selling the goods. Okay, these are the points. These are obviously covered. But here, the fourth point is the important point. Many legal disputes are arising under this point. Adventure or concern in the nature of trade. Many legal disputes are under this point. Okay, we'll discuss now what is meant by adventure or concern in the nature of trade. Before going to that, what is meant by business? So these are the points. So what is the meant by business? The business means some real, substantial and systematic or organized course of activity or conduct with a set purpose. What is real? So here real means real means what? Here real means some dedicated activity, sincere, dedicated and sincere activity. Here substantial means reasonable amount of quantity. Okay, substantial and systematic or organized way, planned way. Okay, real, substantial and systematic. If you do something activity genuinely, dedicatedly, sincerely, and you are not doing in a small scale, you are doing on a reasonable scale, substantial activity. That is not a silly thing. Substantial thing means important thing, not a silly thing. Systematic way, in a proper way, not in a haphazard manner. You are doing in a proper way. So real, systematic and substantial. So if these are concerned, RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Okay, you can remember like this: real, substantial and systematic. So this is a business. If I am doing some activity in a dedicated way, sincere way, and I am doing not in a silly or small activity, substantial activity, important activity, and in a proper way, not in a haphazard manner, in a proper way, I am doing that. This is called as a business. Okay, right? So business has many characteristics. But for an adventure or concern in the nature of trade, not all activities should be required. Okay, look at this. These are the normal features of a business. Okay, if I do a particular activity, if I do a particular work, whether that work is treated as a business or not, you should ask what is my regular occupation. Okay, I have done some work. I have entered into some transaction. Whether the transaction comes under the business head or under the capital gains head, you should ask me what is on my regular activity. What is my regular occupation? Okay, I am doing regularly I am teaching in the college, but suddenly I purchased the land and sold it. Therefore, it may not be a business. General point. There are some exceptions. For every point, there is some exceptions. Okay, I purchased the land and sold it, but my regular activity is business. My regular activity is teaching. Therefore, my regular activity is not a real estate dealing. Therefore, that is the first point you should ask. If I enter into one transaction, you should ask what is my regular occupation, what I am doing regularly. That is the first point. My regular occupation assesses regular activities, day-to-day activities that we have to observe. First, next, why the assessee has purchased a commodity. If the intention of purchasing a commodity is to sell at a profit, then it is a business. Sometimes I'll purchase the commodity to enjoy it. I don't want to sell it. I purchased a commodity to enjoy it. Physically, I have to use it. I have to enjoy it. Okay, I purchased some jewelry. I purchased some ornament just to wear it. I am physically happy. With that. Enjoy. I am enjoying that commodity. I am enjoying the watch, digital watch. Okay, I am enjoying, and I have not purchased to sell it. Therefore, I purchased a mobile, smartphone. Okay, just to enjoy that mobile possession, not to sell the profit. It is not a business. Even though later on I sell it and later on I get the profit, still it is not a business. I purchased the mobile for my use, to enjoy that mobile, to use that mobile. I don't have an intention to sell it. But suddenly I need money. I sold the mobile at a profit. Whether it is a business, no. It is a business? No. What is my intention behind purchase? My intention behind purchase of anything is to enjoy it. That's it. I purchased some big land. I purchased it just to play cricket, just to play cricket, or hockey. I purchased a big land or ground. Later on, because of need of money, I sold it. Later on, because of need of money, I sold it. I got a profit. Whether it is a business? No. Whether it is with what intention I purchased, with what intention I purchased it. I purchased with an intention to enjoy it or use it. Therefore, not a business. Okay, right. Next, sell for a profit. Next, the purchase of commodity is to resell. The object of purchase of commodity is three objects. The object of purchase of commodity is generally three objects. Generally, we have three objects behind purchase of any commodity. Generally, we have three objects behind purchase of any commodity. One is purchase of commodity. Why I purchased? Use or enjoy. Using or enjoying. Use or enjoy. Purchasing means using or enjoying. Next one is pride of possession. Pride of possession. Pride of possession. Pride of possession. Okay, to resell. To resell. To resell. Okay, to resell. To resell. Another one I can also take to derive income from it. To derive regular income from it. To derive regular income from it. To derive regular income from it. Okay, to resell. To resell. To derive regular income from it. To resell. Okay, right. So I purchased some mobile. I purchased some smartphone or gadget. Costly gadget. I purchased some costly gadget. Okay. System got stuck. 1 minute. Wait. Right. So I purchased some costly gadget. I purchased some costly gadget. I purchased some costly gadget. So to use or enjoy it. Even though later on I sold it, even though I got a profit, but still it is not a business. Because I have not purchased for a purpose of reselling it. I purchased for purpose of enjoying it. Pride of possession. Example, paints. Example, painting. Okay, Picasso painting, or very old ancient thing, very old ancient article, antique piece. Okay, so like this antique piece. So I am just having the pride of possession. So this is the shirt or this is the cloth used by Krishna Deva Raya. This is the cloth used by Krishna Deva Raya. So I am just claiming to everybody that I have the more historical weapons, I have the more historical articles. Pride of possession. I am not using it. Just pride of possession. I got some pride. Pride because of possessing that. I have Picasso painting. I have Sachin Tendulkar autograph. Pride of possession. Later on, maybe I sell it to somebody who is a hardcore fan of Sachin Tendulkar. Suddenly, somewhere I met Sachin Tendulkar, I got his autograph. So I am not a Sachin Tendulkar fan, so I want to sell it. Somebody came, I sold it, I got the profit. But so far as I am holding it, I am enjoying. The purpose of purchasing it is pride of possession, not to resell. The purpose of purchasing is pride of possession, not to resell. Therefore, it is not a business. Next, to derive regular income from it. I purchased a cab to give it on hire basis so that I will get the rental income. So even though later on I sell the cab, it is not my business income. Because I have not purchased the cab. For the purpose of reselling it. I want to get some income. I have given it to some driver, and driver is giving some regular income to me. Okay, I purchased the cab for the purpose of getting regular income. I purchased the cab and let it out to cab aggregators, Ola, Uber, etc. Therefore, even though later on I sell the car, it is not my business income. Because at the time of purchase, I have not purchased with an intention to sell. I have purchased with an intention to derive income from it. I have one open land. Just I purchase, not to sell it. Because that is a very popular land. Always there will be one or the other exhibitions will be there. Normal kids exhibitions or cloth emporium exhibitions or anything. So always that is a very popular place. Therefore, one or the other person is coming and conducting some exhibition there. Okay, for that purpose, for the purpose of exhibition, I will take the rent. That's it. That is for the purpose I purchased the land, not to resell it. Therefore, even though I resell it later, you should ask what is my intention at the time of purchase. I sold boss, no doubt. I sold it, I got the profit. But with what intention I purchased it? I sold the land, I got the profit, but with what intention I purchased it? Did I purchase with an intention to resell it? No. I purchased with an intention to get regular income from it. Okay, therefore it is not a business income. Anything to resell, it is called as a business income. Okay, ma? It is treated as a business. Treated as a business. Okay, this is what the point. Second point is intention behind the purchase. Use or enjoying pride of possession to deriving regular income from it or to resell. To derive regular income from it or to resell. So these are the points. Intention behind purchase of a commodity is to sell or for a profit. Commodity purchased is related to assessing's usual business. Okay, I purchased a commodity to resell it only, but whether it is the regular commodity which I am dealing, no, something unusual. Regularly I am purchasing and selling the mobile phone. Suddenly I purchased gold and sold it with an intention to get the profit only. I thought that definitely stock market will crash and gold bars will increase. So therefore I purchased the gold and I sold it. That is not related to my regular business. That is not related to my regular business. Okay, I purchased with an intention to resell, no doubt. I purchased with an intention to resell at profit, but that is not the regular product which I am dealing with. Okay, I am purchasing with an intention to sell profit, but that is not a regular product which I am dealing with. Okay, next, a commodity purchased is the ordinary tradable commodity. Okay, that is not which I am dealing with. Whether somebody else is also dealing with, whether it is a normal tradable activity in the market. Whether it is a normal tradable activity in the market. Suddenly I got some rubber estate, okay, some rubber trees, I want to sell it. It is not, rubber trees are not something usually available in the market, not frequently, not available in the market. Therefore it is not, it may not be a business. Whatever I sold, even though it is not related to my business, at least it should be an ordinary commodity which is the subject matter of trade in the market. No doubt, what I sold is not my business, but it is a regular business of somebody else. It is not something, a new article to the market. It is not a new product in the market. You understand? It is not something, a new product in the market. That product is regularly traded by somebody else. It is the first time I traded it. It is the first time I traded it. But till now, somebody else, many people are dealing with that product. Ordinarily tradable commodity. For me, it is a new product. But for the market, it is an old product. Somebody else is already doing with that product. Okay, that is the point we have to catch. Next, magnitude. Whether I purchase on small quantity, no, actually, at least some reasonable quantity is there, not a single product. Okay, if I purchase one quantity of good and selling it, may not be a business. It should be some magnitude. Okay, reasonable quantity should be there. Next, after purchasing the commodity, if I done some work to improve the saleability, that is also one of the feature of business. After purchasing the commodity, I have done some work to improve the saleability of the product. Next, repetitive nature of transaction. I have not done activity one time. I am regularly doing it. Okay. This is the normal features of a business. Okay. So what is my occupation? Okay. Intention behind the purchase, commodity purchase, and whether it is ordinary tradable or not, whether the reasonable quantity is there or not, and some improvements are done to make the product sellable, and repetitive nature of the transactions. Okay. So these are the normal features of a business. But to cover under this category of adventure or concern in the nature of trade or commerce, manufacture. To cover under this category, it is not necessary that all the features has to be satisfied. Some of the features, satisfaction of some of the features also sufficient. Look at this. To call a transaction as an adventure, it is sufficient if it has some features of business. Okay. To call an activity as an adventure, it is sufficient if it has some features. Better put in the same slide. Otherwise you get confusion. Okay, right. To call a transaction as an adventure, it is sufficient if it has some features, not all features. That's why in the nature of adventure or concern in the nature of trade or commerce. In the nature of trade means similar to having some features of, or in the nature of trade. In the nature of trade means having some features or similar to, not identical, similar. Not identical. Identical means exactly same. Similar means having some features, not all features, having some features. Okay. So therefore, this adventure or concern has some features of the above trade, commerce or manufacture. Not all the features. Adventure has some features of trade. Okay. Chargeable under that business income. Adventure has some features of commerce. Okay. Chargeable under this head. Adventure has some features of manufacture. Okay. Chargeable under this head. Okay. This adventure or concern has some features of trade, taxable. Adventure or concern in the nature of trade, taxable. Okay. I'll write blank. Adventure or concern in the nature of trade. Okay. Otherwise you'll confuse. In the nature of trade. Similarly, adventure or concern in the nature of commerce. Okay. Adventure or concern in the nature of commerce, in the nature of commerce, in the nature of commerce. Next, adventure or concern in the nature of manufacture, in the nature of manufacture. Now we'll get till more clarity. Okay, these are the points. Adventure having some features of trade, okay, business. Adventure has some features of commerce, okay, business. Adventure has some features of manufacture, okay, business. Okay, so this is what the point, having some features of are similar to, not all features, having some features are similar to. Okay, that is what the point. So even if some of the features is there, then it is an adventure. So some of the features means how many features? Whether majority? No. So if I have out of 7 features, if I have 5 features, may not be. If I have 2 features, maybe. Therefore, I cannot say how many features has to satisfy. How many features has to satisfy. Look at this. It is not a matter of merely counting the number of facts and circumstances, pros and cons. How many factors are favoring the business? How many factors are against the business? In a particular transaction, how many features are favoring the business, how many features are against the business. I should not count the number of facts. I should count the effect of all relevant facts, total effect of all relevant facts. I should not count the number of facts. I should count the total effect of all relevant facts. Very simple. Very simple. In order to declare whether a student has passed the examination or not, what we will look at is the total marks, not how many questions has been attempted. Yes or no? Can you say if you attempt only 4 questions, then only you'll pass? No. Sometimes I'll attempt only 3 questions, but I'll attempt perfectly, then I'll pass. Sometimes I'll attempt all the questions, but still I'll fail because of imperfection. Therefore, I should not say that if you attempt 7 questions, you'll pass. If you attempt 3 questions, you'll fail. Not like that. We have to take the overall effect of marks. Some questions I may not perform at all. Some questions I may not written at all. Some questions I have written imperfectly. Some questions I have written perfectly. Therefore, I should not count how many questions you have written. What is the total marks you got? Based on that, I'll declare whether you pass or not. Okay, based on that, I'll declare whether you pass or not. I will not count the number of questions. As simple as that, you can say, sir, if 5 questions are given in the examination, at least 3 questions you have to write, then only you'll pass. No, may not be. I let only 2 questions, but still after 2 questions perfectly, I wrote 20 marks, 40 marks, I got a pass. That's it. I attempted only 2 questions, but I attempted perfectly. Each question 20 marks, I got 40 marks. Finish. That's it. Are you counting the numbers? No. So I attempted all the 5 questions. I attempted all the questions, but imperfectly. Each question I got only 5 marks, 25 marks. It is failed. It is failed. That is the point. So therefore, you should not look at how many number of questions we have attempted. What is the total effect of it? What is the total effect of it? Therefore, don't say that, sir, out of the 7 factors, 2 factors are satisfied, whether it is a business. Sir, out of that 5 factors are satisfied, not the business. How seriously those factors are satisfied? How dominantly they are satisfied? That is the important point. Okay, how dominantly, how clearly, how crystallizedly that points are satisfied. Okay, so how strongly that feature has satisfied here. Okay, that is the point. Right. So therefore, it is not the number of facts. Okay, any facts satisfy chesaru, any feature satisfy chesaru, adu chudakandi. Enta gettiga satisfy chesindi. Oka point enta serious ga akkada apply ayindi, enta extensive ga apply ayindi anadi important. Enta dominant ga apply ayindi anadi important. Any points akkada satisfy ayinadi kaadu, enta dominant ga apply ayindi. How many points satisfy ayyi, adi kaadu manaki important. How dominance, that is important. Okay, therefore always clear. Adventure or concern in the nature of trade means it satisfies some of the features, not all the features. It satisfies some of the features, not all the features. Okay, next, some of the features means how many features. You should not count it. We have to see the total effect of it. Okay, right. So now normally this is the business. Out of these activities, even in case of adventure, some activities may not be satisfied, but still it is considered as a business. In case of an adventure, some of these features definitely will not be satisfied, but still it is treated as a business. Okay, we'll discuss those case laws. Now we'll discuss those case laws. Okay, look at this one by one. No hard and fast rule to determine. Very, very important. Before I go into the case laws, my sincere suggestion is don't blindly rely on the case laws. So far as this aspect is concerned, don't blindly rely on the case laws. Because case laws in the academics, you are learning only the conclusion. You don't know exactly the complete facts. Look at this. Decided cases, unless the facts are exactly identical. No hard and fast rule. Okay, you cannot say that, sir, it is not a tick boxing exercise. This condition is satisfied business. If this condition is not satisfied, this is not a business. Not like that. Every case is unique. Every case is unique. You have to, the judgment depends upon the facts of the case. The judgment in our case depends upon the facts of our case, not depends upon the previous judgment. Okay, that judgment in our case depends upon our facts and circumstances, not based on the previous judgment. That is very important point. Okay, look at this here. Decided cases, that means previous court judgments, cannot lay down any guidance, cannot lay down any guidance. That won't be useful. Decided cases may not be useful unless all the facts are identical, unless all the facts are exactly identical. If the whatever has happened in that case, previous case, in my case also exactly identical, then only I can take that case law. If it's a small difference, gone, I cannot rely on the case law. That is the important point. Decided cases cannot lay down any guidance. That it means decided case laws may not be useful. Decided case laws, past case laws may not apply to your circumstances unless the facts are exactly identical. Identical, not even similar, identical. So then only you can copy the previous case law. Otherwise, you cannot blindly copy the previous case law. Then it's of no use reading 1,000 case laws. It's of no use reading 1,000 case laws or 100 case laws. Do you understand? So unless until the exact facts are matching, if the previous case law is of no use, then it's of no use reading the 1,000 case laws. Okay, therefore my suggestion is that okay, you have to feel the mindset of the court, not just reading the case laws. Okay, not just reading the English words, not just reading the court judgment. So behind the court judgment, you have to feel it. Behind the court judgment, you have to feel it. Okay, right. That is the important point. How a boy feels when he reads a letter written by his lover or girlfriend. As simple as that, he has to feel, not just words, not just words. What is the feeling he was getting from the judgment? That is most important point. Most of the people don't know. They will think that the success lies in reading more number of case laws and remembering more number of case laws. No, even if you read even if you by heart 1,000 case laws, also there is no guarantee that you will win the case. But even if you read only 2 case laws, but if you are able to feel the court mindset, if you are able to feel the court judgment, then you will win the case. This is my personal opinion. Success in income tax lies in feeling the court mindset or perception, not just reading more cases. Very, very important. Most of the people are confusing that to succeed in practical life, you need to read more case laws. If I know more case laws, then definitely I succeed. May not be. Facts and the circumstances may be different. Therefore, even though I read only 2 case laws, still I may success if I am able to feel the court mindset. Okay. Therefore, don't just read, feel it. Don't just read the judgments, feel the judgments. Okay. Don't just read the judgments, feel the judgments. Okay, success in income tax lies in feeling the court mindset or perception, not just reading more case laws. Therefore, don't just read the law, feel the law. Don't just read, most especially in the income tax. I'm not talking about the other acts because I'm not expert in the other acts like GST or etc. So far as income tax is concerned, even from my IPCC level in 2007, when I'm preparing for IPCC 14 years back, I got an affection towards the Income Tax Act, not today. I am affected towards the Income Tax Act for the past 14 years. I used to read the BER Act. Not just ICA study material, I used to read the BER Act. Because I am very fond of income tax right from my IPCC level for 14 years back. Okay. Therefore, during the past 14 years, I got so much affectionate with the Income Tax Act. Therefore, I am able to tell you on this point. I am able to feel the Income Tax Act, not just reading the Income Tax Act. Okay, therefore, out of my experience, I am not talking about the GST or I am not talking about the other acts. It may be, unless until I go in depth into the act, I cannot say. But Income Tax Act, I have internalized it. I have personalized it. Out of my 14 years of experience, I am telling you, I have to feel the act. That is the one conclusion I said. Are you able to feel the act? That's it. Not just reading the case law. Remember, this is my opinion, personal opinion. Okay, so decided case laws are not useful unless until the facts are identical. Okay, right. So we'll discuss some case laws. Look at this. These 2 case laws are completely contradictory. Here, look at this. In a cases where purchase has been made solely and exclusively with the intention to resell at a profit, and purchaser has no intention of holding property for himself or otherwise enjoying or using it. Presence of such an intention. Okay, look at this. Purchase only. Okay, purchase only solely intention to resell at a profit. One of the positive factors is there, no other factors. Absence of other contradictory factors. absence of other contradictory factors. That means one positive factor is there, no negative factors. Okay, there is one argument, there is one evidence that this transaction is a business, but there is no evidence that to reject this as a business. There is one evidence to accept this transaction as business, but there is no evidence to reject this transaction as a business. One positive evidence is there, no negative evidence, no negative, no opposite evidence. Therefore, I'll treat it as a business. I'll treat it as a business. So, presence of such intention, no contradictory facts, no contradictory facts. Then I have to sole intention. Why I purchased the land? With an intention to resell at a profit. With an intention to resell at a profit. I purchased the land deliberately with an intention to resell at a profit. There is no other intention. There is no other intention. It's very clear. Is there any evidence to prove that? Is there any evidence to prove that I am not doing the business? I am just doing rarely? No, there is no contrary evidence. Therefore, it is a business. It is a business. So, therefore, in this case law, the same Supreme Court told that. In this case law, the same Supreme Court told that if it is a sole intention is to purchase and resell at a profit, it is a business. But look at the same Supreme Court, not even other high courts. If one high court judgment is different, another high court judgment is different, okay, I can say. So different high courts may follow different judgments. But normally Supreme Court, the same Supreme Court says a transaction is not necessarily in the nature of trade. Okay, it is an adventure in the nature of trade. So here it will say transactions are adventure in the trade of trade. What the court said here, transactions are adventure in the nature of trade. Then same court judgment, here the court said transaction is not necessarily in the nature of trade. Okay, so because the purchase was made with an intention of resale, here also the purchase was made with the sole intention of to resell at profit. But still the court said no. No court said. The court said in conjunction with the conduct, the court said this intention to resell alone is not sufficient. The intention to alone is not sufficient. The intention to resell alone is not sufficient. In conjunction, that means in addition to the intention of resell, we need some other factors. I need some other circumstances. Here no positive factors, only intention to retail is there, no other positive factors. Therefore, it is not a transaction in the nature of it. Absolutely contradictory. Absolutely contradictory. I am not going to discuss the facts of the case because it will take a lot of time. I don't have much time. Just I am giving the case law. Not necessary for the exam. Note down the case law and after the exam, do some research on this. Do some research on this. Just to get a feel. That completely opposite judgment. Completely opposite judgment. So similar points, that is also intention to resell at profit. This is also intention to resell at profit. They said only one positive factor, no negative factor. It's a business covered under the business. Here only one positive factor, no other positive factors. Therefore, not treated as a business. Look at this. Same Supreme Court. Because the facts may be different. The facts are not identical. Facts are different. I'm not going to in depth into that case because I don't have sufficient time. I don't have sufficient time to go every case in depth because we have not many sections to cover. Therefore, I'm just giving a hint. You can go through it. Okay, right. That is the first point. So, what is the first case law? Only one positive factor, one strong positive factor, no negative factors. Therefore, business. Therefore, treated as business. This is the first judgment. Therefore, treated as business. One strong positive factor. Okay, one strong positive factor, no negative factors. Therefore, treated as a business. Okay, second point. Okay, one strong positive factor, no other positive factors, only one strong positive factor. Okay, only one strong positive factor, only one positive factor. Okay, one positive factor. I'll say here also one positive factor. Okay, only one positive factor. I'll say because only one positive factor, no negative factors. Therefore, it has a business. Only one positive factor, no other positive factors. One positive factors, no other positive factors. Therefore, not treated as a business. Look at this. Why? So both are same. No, sir. In both the cases, one positive factor is there. In both the cases, two positive factors is not there. In both the cases, no negative factor is there. Then why? One positive factor is there. But how seriously? How dominantly? You also wrote one question. I also wrote one question. You failed. I passed. Why? Maybe you are imperfect. I am perfect. You also not written second question. I also not written second question. You only write one question. I also wrote one question. But I passed. You failed. Maybe because of the perfection. Okay, maybe because of the perfection. That is the point here. Therefore, outrightly contradictory judgment. The first point says, the first case law says one positive factor is there, no negative factor, therefore it is a business. Second case law says only one positive factor is there, no other positive factor, therefore not a business. Contradictory judgment. completely contrary judgment. Both are Supreme Court judgment. Be clear. I'm not for stressing upon the High Court judgments because sometimes it may not be practiced in other states. Okay, therefore this is a completely contradictory judgment. Okay, this is a completely contradictory judgment. Even though the facts are same, but still the judgment is completely contradictory. There are many case laws. There are many case laws that we'll discuss in the next lecture. Okay.